Over the past few months, we've had the opportunity to put over 30 hours on the 2010 Polaris Ranger 400. Available for a very reasonable price at $7,999, the 400 is Polaris' entry-level utility UTV that offers a lot more sporting performance than one might expect. The first thing that caught our attention was the Ranger's sporty appearance. The second thing was that it is a bit of a sleeper, with the 400's engine actually displacing 455 cc's. It's not often that a manufacturer gives you over 50 cc's more than you pay for. The water-cooled engine features a 4-valve single overhead cam design. Air and fuel are fed to the engine by a 34mm Mikuni carburetor. Polaris claims the engine puts out 29 horsepower and can push the machine to a top speed of 40 miles per hour. The transmission features high and low ranges, plus neutral reverse and park. The drive system, which is controlled by a toggle switch on the dash, features all-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, and Polaris' VersaTrack Turf mode. When in all-wheel drive, the machine operates in two-wheel drive until the rear wheels begin to slip, then all four wheels are engaged, offering true four-wheel drive. This is designed to allow more traction when necessary, while allowing a lighter steering effort a majority of the time. Two-wheel drive is pretty self-explanatory, but with the VersaTrack engaged, the rear differential unlocks, allowing you to make tighter turns without ripping up the grass. A great feature for those who operate on well-manicured land. Unlike some of its competitors, Polaris gave the Ranger 400 a generous amount of suspension travel. Its preload adjustable dual A-arm rear suspension offers 9 inches of travel. Up front, non-adjustable McPherson struts provide 8 inches of travel, more than any of its in-class competitors, and more in line with what we'd expect to find on a sport UTV. The 400 is slowed by hydraulic disc brakes front and rear, but we were slightly disappointed by the lack of an engine braking system. For utility purposes, the Ranger comes well equipped. The standard receiver hitch can tow up to 1,250 pounds, and its hydraulically assisted cargo bed is rated at 500 pounds. Additional storage is available from its in-dash glove box and an open area on the left side of the steering wheel. There are even cup holders on either side of the driver and passenger for work or play on hot days. Cup holders aside, the interior of the machine is pretty basic with a bench seat built for two. We are happy to report that the roll cage looks stout and is a certified rollover protective structure. Instrumentation is very limited, with no fancy digital displays. If you want to check the machine's fuel level, the gauge is located on the gas cap. Frankly, we'd rather see our money be spent on the machine's long travel suspension and oversized engine than a bunch of pricey frills. After thoroughly testing the machine, we'd have to say we came away very surprised and impressed with the little Ranger. The Ranger's 455cc engine got us moving faster than we expected. The power comes on low in the RPMs and pulls hardest throughout the mid-range before falling off on top. While the machine doesn't feel exceptionally responsive over 30 miles per hour, it does respond well to doses of throttle at lower speeds, which makes it fun in tight spaces. There wasn't a hill we attempted that couldn't be conquered in low range, and we did challenge the machine. Topping out around 40 miles per hour, it might not be thrilling in the desert, but the power plant feels capable in the woods. We felt the all-wheel drive system provided predictable traction on slippery hill climbs, and the VersaTrack limited slip two-wheel drive setting worked as advertised without ripping up the lawn. Polaris has always been known for long travel and plush action on their utility ATV suspension, and that is carried over to their line of UTVs. The Ranger 400 suspension action is plush, yet does a good job of resisting bottoming. We cruised trails, crawled over creek rocks, and even jumped it a few times. The Ranger took it all in stride and provided a better ride than we'd expected. We only bottomed it hard once. On a small creek crossing we hit way harder than we should have, and although the ride was a bit bouncy through a small motocross whoop section, who rides their utility UTV on a motocross track anyway? Workers and recreational riders will equally enjoy the Ranger's suspension. The Ranger's handling is also quite good. There is a small amount of front end push when attacking corners, but overall, steering is pretty predictable. It seems to take a bit more turning of the wheel to change direction than we're accustomed to on some side-by-sides. However, feedback felt that the steering wheel seemed to be reduced, so overall it was a good trade-off. Stability through turns and on side hills is also good, adding to the machine's confidence-inspiring, sporty feeling. Going straight up or down hills, the Ranger felt planted, no matter how steep the incline. The first time we took the machine down a long, steep hill, we stopped to look for the active descent control found on some of their higher-end models. The ADC system helps regulate speed on descents, which would be a big benefit on a side-by-side. As much as we liked it on Polaris' XP850 ATV, we were a bit disappointed that it wasn't added to the Ranger 400. Fortunately, the brakes work well and offer decent feel. Ergonomics and controls are a mixture of good and acceptable. Along with light steering feedback, we also like the feel of the gas pedal. Some models have pedal action that's so light, it's difficult to regulate throttle control at lower speeds. The Ranger's gas pedal was firm enough without being too stiff. About the only thing that fell out of place was the bench seat. Separate bucket seats would have added to its sporty feeling, and we can't see how they detract from its utility duties. Compared to its competitors, the Ranger offers a lot of performance for the dollar, giving up digital frills for more performance. Overall, we had a lot more fun and were more impressed with this machine than we expected to be. We can imagine using the thing for any number of reasons, including working, hunting, fishing, camping, or even just trail riding for kicks. For more information on the Ranger 400 or Polaris' full line of side-by-sides, log on to polarisindustries.com.